War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind.
Cut out the jibber-jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all. Then shut your dang pie hole.
Well, there we are, and there you have it. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. It is Monday Mayhem, and folks, the mayhem is out there. We have a breaking story, top story. Deet, 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 deet. All right, today, an Alaska Airlines flight had to be diverted. Well, there was an unauthorized but authorized kind of person in the cockpit. They were considered a credible security threat. Look out, America. You think you're going to fly somewhere? Ho, ho, ho. Think again. A credible security threat. They had to land the plane. Pretty scary stuff. Are you prepared for what comes next? Well, we're going to find out. So, oh, by the way, it is Monday Mayhem. Get your questions down below. I'm going to do my 30-minute monologue from here, then take your questions on the screen, and we'll talk about what is happening out there. Give you a professional cough there. Now, moving along in the news, guess what? Good old Hillary, we love you, no we don't really, go away, we wish you would just fucking die, Clinton. Back in 2006, guess what? She said a couple of things. A couple of things that show us where we're at today. She suggested rigging elections. That's right, way back in 2006. There's actual audio of it, folks, audio. It's not bullshit. It's not propaganda. It's not lies. We have Hillary Clinton shooting off her soup cooler. A nasty, nasty woman, folks, nasty. Anyways, the audio. It's making rounds, folks, especially during the Israeli-Hamas conflict, because she suggested rigging the Palestine election in 2006. That's right. When she was a U.S. senator, she discussed the idea to ensure the right outcome. We want the right person to win. Yeah, folks, yeah. It was cool for Hillary to suggest it back then. Election tampering, election rigging, electioneering, stealing an election, election fraud. It's just fine when you're Hillary Clinton. I'm sure they tested in Palestine for results to see if they could do it, to get away with it. I'm positive they implemented their program, folks, in 2016, and that's why Hillary thought she was going to win. One of the most unpopular political candidates of all time, only to be surpassed by Joe Biden himself. Hillary Clinton, the unloved, unwashed, hated witch. They almost got her into the White House, folks. They almost got, using this method, they really polished for Palestine. And in 2020, it was successful in the United States of America. It was successfully implemented. A man who did not campaign 3/4 of the time while he hid in his basement. And when he came out, he insulted Black Americans. He insulted working Americans. He insulted older Americans, and he insulted fat Americans. All the people that the Democrat Party is supposed to love and be fighting for their fucking welfare. Well, guess what? And he pissed them all off, and he still won. Not only did he win the presidency over Trump, he won with 91 million votes. Never has anyone won 91 million votes. And the least popular, unloved, hidden fucking candidate of all time, Joe Biden, won that way. Hillary Clinton, you bet. There she is. Now, what's important, though, at this time in history is the Palestinians need to be looking at Washington, D.C., going, you said what, bitch? Oh, you said what? You both. But, folks, we're going to get into more of this. We're going to get into more of this. But first, we have breaking news. Fucking, oh, you're shitting me. Okay. Really, you're kidding me. The Alaska co-pilot, the pilot. Okay, folks, here it is. The Alaska Airlines flight that had to be rerouted because there was a problem. An off-duty pilot is being charged with attempted murder for trying to take control of the plane. He got into the cockpit, folks, and shut down the engines in the middle of a flight. Can you believe that shit? An off-duty pilot decided sometime during his flight, what the fuck was this guy thinking? An airline pilot off-duty goes, you know what? I'm gonna sneak my way and break my way into the cockpit, and then I'm gonna try shutting down the engines on this plane, which would assure his death and the death of everyone on the plane. Fucking wow. What is wrong with Democrats, folks? What is wrong with Democrats? Now, at first I was thinking perhaps this is another Ahmed situation where, right, an off-duty pilot, because I heard he was an off-duty pilot. But no, his name is Joseph David Emerson. Maybe we give the middle name of killers or attempted mass murderers so that we don't confuse them with Joseph Martin Emerson. No, we're talking about Joseph David Emerson, aged 44. So he wasn't a fossil. He wasn't some lunatic young college kid. He's 44 years old. And he was arrested with attempted murder of, I think, 83 people. And a bunch of other charges, folks. He tried to shut off the airplane's engines mid-flight. I thought he did. They're not being really honest with us, folks. But Joseph David Emerson, arrested and charged. This guy broke into the cockpit, gets in there, shuts the engine. Uman says, he was en route to San Francisco. Definitely a large-scale fruitcake. That's for sure. I want to ask a serious question, though. Why did Joseph David Emerson break into the cockpit? Why would he want to kill himself? Why would he want to kill everyone on that plane? What purpose would it serve? Now, Joseph David Emerson could be a radical crazed jihadi. Or maybe it was a plane that was full of Republicans and he was disgusted that they weren't looking at child porn while they were flying. Maybe that was this guy's problem. Maybe he was disgusted that a couple of people were having a drink talking about all the fraud that's going on in the Trump cases. And he was like, I'm just going to kill everyone on this plane and get even, right? Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of different reasons this fruitcake would want to bring down a plane and destroy it and kill people on the plane and possibly on the ground and cause fear and panic in America over what had happened. Was this guy a mind-controlled FBI, CIA controlled asset? Was he the subject of CIA mind control, folks? Or could he be the victim of some sort of radical political agenda that teaches you to kill everyone any chance you get? Well, it's hard to say. It really is hard to say what went through this guy's mind. Now, if he had hit the ground, the last thing that would have gone through his mind would be his asshole catching up with his head. Luckily, he was stopped. He was subdued, which probably wasn't easy to do, because if you ever seen a pilot get into the seat that they sit in, they literally had to stuff their legs down into these seats and climb into the cockpit. There's not a lot of room up there. The captains do not cruise in lazy boy chairs up in the front of the airplane. It just doesn't happen. So why did this guy do it? Do you guys have any ideas? If so, put them down below. Put them down below. I want to know what you're thinking. Why did this guy take over or attempt to take over a plane and crash it? He's an airline pilot. That's his job. Is he just a suicidal asshole and he thought he'd take other people with him? Once more, a Democrat idea. I feel like dying today and I'm going to take everyone else with me. Fuck them. Interesting stuff, folks. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what these screwballs have to say, why I think this is a political move. And I'm not going to talk more about America. I'm not going to talk about Israel and Palestine. I'm going to talk about South Africa and see if you can find the connection. See if you can make the connection on the Mr. Obvious show. Now, in Africa, the political party known as the EFF, their leader is running for election. His name is Julius Malema. And he says you only have one option: confront the enemy and shoot to kill. Is this guy, Julius Malema, is he telling people who love freedom and liberty to shoot screwballs? Murderous Marxists? No, folks, no. In fact, he vows that he is going to arm Hamas if he is elected as the leader of South Africa. Are you seeing a problem here with Marxists, socialists, and these terrorists? Are you noticing a connection? Now, this radical Marxist, Julius Malema, he is the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters. That's a political party, folks. The Economic Freedom Fighters. Yeah, he says he's going to arm Hamas when he's elected. So today, thousands of EFF supporters, thousands of Marxists in South Africa protested outside of the Israeli embassy in Pretoria. Now, Julius Malema had a little speech. Last time that these political leaders had a speech, they said, kill the Boer, meaning kill the white farmers. And the white farmers have been under attack, being killed by these black, Marxist, socialist, murderous people. And they are fighting based on race. Once again, they're finding some way to look at some other group, and if you can see a difference, then you kill them. Julius Malema said this: when you are oppressed, the only option you have is to fight. And that's what Hamas is doing. They're fighting for their freedom. Mandela did the same thing, took up the guns and fought for the freedom of the people of South Africa. When you are oppressed, you only have one option: confront the enemy and shoot to kill. Folks, well said. Thank you, Julius Malema. I'm sure you influenced this pilot on the Alaska Airlines flight. I'm sure you helped him think clearly that, well, you only have one option, and that's confront your enemy and kill them. So this guy tried crashing the plane. That's my bet. I bet he got all excited, going, this is Marxism, this is communism, pure socialism, and murder by political agenda. That's what they want in South Africa, folks. Now, in South Africa, already, every business must be owned by a black citizen. 51%. Tell me that's not a form of racial Marxism. Farmers are being hunted and killed because they are white. How is that economic freedom? Remember, these are the economic freedom fighters. Folks, wake up. America needs to wake up. What do you suppose Black Lives Matter and critical race theory is about? BLM are transgender black Marxists. Their own website during the 2020 riots talked about protecting and taking control as black trans Marxists. It wasn't for black America, folks. It was black trans. But the media didn't talk about that part. It's probably a little too much. And the other part is, what do you suppose critical race theory is about? What do you think the LGBTQ crowd wants? They want equality, meaning your destruction. They want equality, which they call democracy. And folks, to Democrats, democracy means destroying the Constitution and destroying our freedom. All you have to do is look at the policies of the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans and tell me if you see free America in that. You can't. You know there is nothing about any Democrat or Washington, D.C. policy that is about freedom in America. All you see is perversion in all sectors: finance, industry, law, military, education. All American government policies out of D.C. are perverted in one fashion or another. To these people, and this is why they're going after Trump, saying he's trying to destroy democracy. To the Democrats, democracy means socialism. Socialism means death to America. This is their fake language, and they're using it in the wide open. They want democracy, which means death to our republic. Period. And down in South Africa, folks, you only have one option: confront the enemy and shoot to kill. Are you prepared? This war we're fighting now, folks, it's shaping up big. Big as fuck. Right in your face. Right in my face. These people are telling us exactly who they are, exactly what they want, and exactly how they're going to do it. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Is this getting fucking real yet to you? Is it getting real yet? Stealing elections, have to have the right people win. It's time to shoot to kill. Get in their faces. Don't give them any rest. Assault them, bother them, harass them. Don't let them exist in public. Get them killed. Destroy their public persona. Destroy their careers. Destroy their jobs. Destroy their families. Destroy their children. This is the Democrats, folks. This is the Rhino Republicans. This is Washington, D.C. Destroy the children. Did you know that at the Orlando Pride Parade, they're going to have an 11-year-old boy is going to be the Grand Marshal, the youngest Grand Marshal for these fruitcakes, folks. The Grand Marshal of the Orlando Pride Parade is going to be an 11-year-old tranny. Innocence is being destroyed. Children are being groomed. Satan is pleased, and Democrats want this. Whose country is it, folks? Who does this country belong to? Now, you could travel from fucking Kentucky all the way to Nevada and only see a few instances of this fruitcakery. But if you go to the right cities, you'll find it. Orlando, apparently, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C. Fruitcakes everywhere. Fruitcakes everywhere. And if you think for a fucking second, and I'm talking to the Democrats now, you think for a fucking second these Palestinians that you're riling up are not going to kill every last tranny, you're out of your fucking mind. They're going to be on the top of the list. Top of the list. I'll tell you where they're going to start. I'll give you an idea. In Minnesota. In Minnesota, they're going to start there. That'll be one of the places where they start hunting down trannies and gays and everybody in the LGBTQ crowd. How do I know that? Get this. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a pro-Palestine mob took over a street, chased, harassed an elderly driver. An elderly driver. He's just trying to drive down the fucking street. And these pro-Palestinians. Oh, guess who else is from Minnesota? Isn't that Ilhan Omar's stomping grounds? So these militant pro-Palestinians who are, that's right, folks, lovers of Hamas, they want blood. They do, right? This woke Minnesota city council candidate whipped up this mob, right? Now that, folks, is not an insurrection, but it certainly is a case of politically motivated violence. Where are the police? Where's the police to stop this? Oh, that's right. Minnesota, Minneapolis is another town that said, what? We're going to defund the police. So this guy, Zach Metzger, he is a city council candidate. He's not a state or a federal candidate. He's just a little city candidate. Right? He whipped up this crowd into a frenzy. Right? An old man was attacked. Zach Metzger is a young idiot. And his campaign slogan is the change you asked for. Yeah, you fucking bet, Zach, you pile of shit. Right? This guy should be arrested for inciting violence. He ought to be, folks. But, you know, Minneapolis, don't expect that to happen. Is Hamas coming to America? I'm asking you. By the way, share this fucking video. For everyone on YouTube watching, share that internet address up there. Better wake people up. This shit's happening. This is not fear porn. It's not scare tactics. Is Hamas coming? No, they're already here, folks. And I'll tell you, you might want to keep your rifle handy. Because the shit's going to start. At some point, it's going to start. No doubt. No doubt. You only have one option. Confront the enemy and shoot to kill, says the South African radical who wants to arm Hamas. Now let's talk about Hamas. Let's talk about Hamas, shall we? Let's talk about people who are supporting all of this crazy-ass murder. Why not? Why not talk about it? Like the federal government is now hit the alarm button. There's potential infiltration by Hamas, the Hezbollah group out of Iran, and a Palestinian Islamic Jihad, the PIJ. Isn't Israel the problem? Why are they here, I ask? They're here, folks, because the United States government has supported Israel, and your tax dollars have supported Israel, and they look at America, and they see a land, an entire nation ripe for takeover. It is politically divided. It is politically weak. It is now militarily weak. Oh, sure, we have nuclear weapons. That's good for keeping Russia and China at bay. But you can't use nuclear weapons on an army of jihadi idiots. Is Israel the problem? Oh, of course. But so is the United States. So how are we going to eradicate the problem, folks? The government's not going to do it. The feds aren't stopping these radical Palestinians, these radical Islamics. Nope. Well, we'll be able to know them by their verbal accent, their appearance, the fact that they're killing people in the streets, and the fact that they don't eat bacon. I think that will show us exactly who is who and what is what. And the bacon part, that's my satire. Unbelievable, folks. You want an update? Yeah. Customs, the federal government, Customs and Border Protection. They're saying that Hamas and jihad forces are trying to enter the southern border. All of a sudden, they figured it out, folks. 5 million illegal immigrants later, they finally figured it out. We have enough of these people in this country now. They're gathering in cities. They know where the strongholds are, where other Muslims are, these Muslim communities, and they are infiltrating, folks. You think it's going to get better? Not a fucking chance. Let me tell you who the people are in charge, right? I just named one idiot who wound them up, got them all riled up. Well, it's not just in America, it's also in England, right? Over in England, Latifa Abu Shakra is bitching and whining, complaining about being called a terrorist in a TV interview. She doesn't like being called a terrorist. Why would they call her a terrorist? Because, well, probably because she's supporting terrorism. And a week later, after being called a terrorist, which she complained about, she came back on TV and was praising Hamas for the slaughter they did in Israel. Pick a team, sweetheart. Either you support them or you don't. And if you support them, you are one. Anyone who supports Hamas, folks, is themselves a wannabe terrorist. And I want to give you some very bad information. Israel has now released over half an hour of video footage of Hamas attacks. And journalists are disgusted. And they don't want to release it to the public. And I'll tell you what, this would be the media hiding valuable information about who these people are, Hamas and Hezbollah and these jihadis and these terrorists. This video footage, folks, includes young children being burned by Hamas, pregnant women being cut open, and all manner of disgusting murder. And they don't want to release it. But it's 43 minutes of footage that Israel has now given to the media. Will Ilhan Omar, Ilhan Omar, that little bitch, will she condemn terror yet? How about Rashid Khalid Dumas, right? Tlaib, will she condemn Hamas and condemn terrorism? How about AOC, who went to the border of America and Mexico and pretended to cry about children in cages that she couldn't find? Yet we have women being cut open by Hamas, by murderous terrorists, and killing those children. Is she gonna get on her knees at a chain link fence and cry? I say we should kick these bitches out of Congress. There should not be any terrorist sympathizer representatives allowed in our Congress. It is against our Constitution. It is against our fucking culture, our traditions, our laws, our way of life. It's against Americanism. Except we did just talk about what is Americanism. It's the enemy of democracy. The Republic of America, the United States of America, is the enemy of democracy because the Democrats have defined democracy as pure socialism, which needs to be, it's like a dodo bird. Is it a dodo or a cuckoo bird? They want to kick the republic out of the nest. And they want everyone to adopt democracy as the way of government. It's unfucking believable, folks. Unbelievable. I'm going to keep going. Fuck it, it's Monday. In the Illinois comptroller's office, they have an attorney. She didn't just have some rants. She put it all out there. This is who these people are, folks. And the Democrats in Washington, D.C. love it. Now, they fired this broad, this attorney, this lawyer, this pile of shit. They fired her, but they love her. They have to fire her so they can pretend to be a true and decent government. They are pro-murder. How do I know that? Hillary Clinton. Let's steal elections. Hillary Clinton. Let's take Americans and re-educate them against their will in concentration camps, using whatever means and methods necessary. There is no polite re-education camp. You don't politely arrest people and send them to prison, send them to a concentration camp, make them learn and believe something that they don't want to believe that's foreign to their personal lives. That's what Hillary Clinton wants. Ultimately, that results in death. Death, either physical death or death of who that person is by making them become something else. And what's one of the best ways to do that? Torture and drugs. Torture and drugs can turn a normal person into something they're not. And that's what Hillary Clinton wants for this country. She's a Democrat, by the way, folks. So back to the Illinois Comptroller's office. The attorney, Sarah Chowdhury, she used an Instagram account named Big Law Boys. And guess what? That account, that Instagram account, happened to be run by a Jewish lawyer. And she, this attorney, Sarah Chowdhury, wrote some nasty things. Would you like me to read them? This is what she wrote on someone else's Instagram account. Hitler should have eradicated all of you. Well, who is you? Oh, the Jews. Hopefully someone sends you anthrax or poison and you die a slow, terrible death. This is an attorney, folks. Attorneys, television personalities, media people, all the way down to the street level retards who run around killing people in the name of their religion and their political system. Now, who is this Sarah Chowdhury? Chowdhury. Who is she? Folks, I'm aware of history. I'm aware of the stories about all peoples and all nations through all times. I'm aware of the protocols of the elders of Zion. And I don't believe it and follow this line of hatred. Yet these people do. Where does the average thinker out there come up with so much hatred? So they have 100%, right? Certain death statements like Hitler should have eradicated you all. Where do these people come from? How do they get so, they want to say that right-wing people are radical? I am fucking far from it. I think I'm one of the most restrained people on the planet. As educated as I am, don't you think I could find some radical reason to do some serious damage to 1 to 100 people? Sure. But I don't, because I'm not radical and I'm not violent and I'm not a psychotic lunatic like these fucking people wishing death on one to an entire race of people, an entire nation. I'm not like the Democrats who want to destroy not just the United States of America, but the entire world. They want to kill all the people on it they can, any way possible, whether it's castrating children or getting political versus theological wars started, whether it's sending the Ukraine people into a meat grinder where they're being killed, or pushing in South Africa for people to kill based on race. Look at what we got. Race, religion, economic, political warfare to kill everyone they can. Are you prepared? Really? Oh, did I mention, I forgot to mention killing everyone with a fucking bullshit pandemic, which isn't the thing that kills. It's the Jim Jones juice. Just in case you forgot, I want you to take a wild guess. I didn't forget. I did not forget, folks. I didn't stop. I've just been busy covering all the other bullshit on the planet. A 16-year-old super athlete, high schooler, super athlete, died unexpectedly. Anytime a teenager dies, it's unexpected. Well, unless they're already a grossly abusive drug user. And he died at a cross-country competition. Running requires good cardiovascular conditioning. 16-year-olds have great cardiovascular systems. They don't have years and decades of poor diet, chemicals being shoved in their body, destroying them. Nope. But now we're supposed to believe that teenagers just die all the time from heart issues. Anyways, folks, take a wild guess. What do you think killed that young man? I know I've gone long. I know. It is now time for you guys. It's time for the inner circle. Wow, what a fucking day. Monday Mayhem is too nice. Mr. Ooman, I know you're there, and he's he doesn't even, man, you don't even give me a chance to introduce you. The master of disaster, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, the the blue wrench with no stench. It is Ooman behind the scenes, making it clean. He puts up name redacted. He says, "Hey, John, it seems that America's Bolshevik revolution is underway." Thank you. Now, wow, I don't even get to address that. You got to give me a chance here, Ooman. Give me a chance. He's laughing at me. There's a little teeny screen at the bottom, folks. I can see Ooman. He's like, I got you. Anyways, the Bolshevik revolution. Now, in Russia, before it became the Soviet Union, when it was still being run by Tsar Nicholas, the royal family, the Bolsheviks were a bunch of communists, socialists, if you will. They wanted to take over the world, and they knew that they had to do a violent revolution. They had to weaken the government and then attack it, murder all of their enemies, and then they could steal the property and wealth of everyone they thought they could, right? So the Bolsheviks did just that. They started committing murder of everyone they considered to be their political enemy. They were the freedom and equality fighters, economic freedom fighters. They were the EFF of their time, and they murdered everybody. In fact, the royal family pretended to like them. I think 80% of the royal family, the women anyways, wore ribbons of solidarity with the Bolsheviks. Well, guess what the Bolsheviks did? They murdered the fuck out of the royal family with bayonets, meaning stabbed them to death. If the political elite in America think at the local, state, and federal level that they will not be attacked by these radicals that they're turning loose, they've got another thing coming. You think Hillary Clinton's going to stand up there and go, "Oh, I'm the one that put you guys in power and gave you authority. You should be nice to me"? No, not going to happen. By the way, I don't think they're going to allow the Bolsheviks to get that far. The Bolsheviks in our country today are coming after the likes of you and me because we're the enemy. Whether you're a black Uncle Tom or you're a white Republican, it doesn't matter. They'll kill you. It doesn't matter whether you're an agnostic, meaning, you have a spiritual side, but you don't attend church, or whether you go to a Christian or a Catholic or a Jewish synagogue. Doesn't matter. You're all equal and earning, and, you get death from these radical jihadis. You have the LGBT crowd out there. They are becoming a murderous, violent, militant organization that they talk about. They want to be militant, right? We have fucking idiot BLMers trying to go out and help protest with the pro-Palestinian crowds in America. And the pro-Palestinian crowds, look at them. They look over at these other idiots that are supporting them, and they look at them with disdain and hatred. They will be fighting each other soon enough, folks. They're pushing for this, and it's getting very nasty very quick. This is not fear porn. Watch what's happening. Look what's happening overseas. Look at the direction the powers that be are pushing everything. You know what I say? I couldn't feel more safe. You're probably thinking, John, what the fuck are you talking about? I live in a community, folks. I live in a county. I live in a state full of radical, freedom-loving Americans. Full of radical, freedom-loving Americans. Military veterans, sportsmen, patriots, Americans. People in my county drive around with American flags in the back of their vehicles. It seems like everybody has a military sticker on the back of their car, whether they were in the military or whether they got children in the military or their parents were in the military. Fucking bring it on, right? That's what a lot of people are saying now. I'm not fomenting violence. I'm not glamorizing, glorifying it. I'm seeing it coming. That's what I am seeing. We see them. We know they're coming across the southern border. We know the Biden administration is shipping these people. And that's why I put up this promo from Mr. T. The sleeper cells are here. The Bolshevik revolution, it's underway. They don't call themselves Bolsheviks. No, they don't. They call themselves pro-Palestinians. They call themselves jihadis. They call themselves radicalized Muslim Hamas fighters and Hezbollah fighters and any other terror group they can really cling to. You have these radical fruitcakes who want to cut off their genitals and kill you and your children and come after Christians. This is becoming a partisan conflict in the making. It's becoming a religious conflict in the making. And the people in Washington think that they're going to be able to escape the destruction that they're bringing on us all. We have people in low office. We have people in high office promoting this violence. This idiot in Minnesota, he wants violence. Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashid Tlaib, the Jihad Squad, they have earned that fucking name in spades. They're pushing for it and they're going to get it. Does Ilhan Omar think that they're not going to kill her? Does AOC think that she is going to be safe from all these wackos? Folks, when they start killing, they become crazed, bloodthirsty, satanic murderers. Go watch what they do to children and women in Israel. Do you think they're going to give anyone here in America a better treatment than that? It's scary shit. All right, Mr. Uman, let's move on to Name Redacted's second shop. He says, local gun shop is bursting at the seams today with inventory and hood rats. That's an odd thing to say. The local gun shop is bursting at the seam today with inventory and hood rats. I need more data, more information, more info. Give me the info. Where is this local gun shop that you've read about? When you say it's bursting at the seams with inventory, what do you mean? And hood rats. That means ghetto gangstas are hood rats. Hood rats. That's my lingo. So I need more details. Thank you, Name Redacted. I want more details, damn it. I'd love to talk about that topic right now. All right, Mr. Uman, where are we going next? And we got Uman. He's quoting Uman. He says, apparently there was also another airline incident between an Alaska Air and a SkyWest flight in Portland. More West Coast airline idiocy. They came too close and one had to divert. Odd will you hear 2 airline incidents in one day. Well, let me see if I can help you. In the past couple years, I've been on several airline flights. And half the flights I've been on have people of suspicious sexual genderhood. Fruitcakes, folks. If the pilots are willing to try and crash the fucking planes, the next group I want to look at, guess who? Air traffic controllers. Well, if they can infiltrate a cockpit and get that sort of mentality in there, they can certainly fuck up air traffic and make close calls happen. We've got radical left-wing Marxists whose idea of equality is killing people who have something they want. They're in government. They're going to be in the bureaucracy. They're going to be in important positions of power and authority, like the police, like NASA, like the military, right? These communist fucks in the military, mostly in the officer corps, but also infiltrating the enlisted ranks, where they're guaranteed a transgender surgery and treatment. And get this, I saw an advertisement. I think it came from Nikki, doing stuff with Nikki. I think she sent me the thing showing that the military is now trying to recruit senior citizens. Senior citizens in the military. Was that Nikki, or was that from some other prepared mind sector? Why would anyone who's a senior citizen want to join the military? For the great retirement after you put in another 20 fucking years? So you enlist at 60 as a senior. You get your 20-year retirement at age 80. Oh, you're living like a king on $1,000 a month plus your Social Security. Do you think any senior citizen is seriously going to want to listen to some millennial or Gen Z bullshit? Do you think they'll be treated well? How would you, as a senior citizen, like to listen to one of these little Marxist communist fucks tell you what to do and look down their nose at you because they outrank you as an E3 or an E4 and you're a lousy ass E2, E1? I don't fucking think so. How are senior citizens going to pass the physical fitness test? Well, I guess they'll do just fine if they haven't gotten the Jim Jones juice. How many people in the military are suffering mightily because they've taken that shit? That's how fucked we are, folks. When the military is now marketing the enlistment of senior citizens. That's how bad that is, folks. That's how they are scraping the bottom of the barrel. Going, shit, now we got to market to people who have lived a good life and have been screwed. We got name redacted. He's back. What does he got, who, man? He says, I didn't read about it. I was passing through. All right, name redacted. He says, no shortages at the moment. Northern suburbs of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Okay, so the inner city types arming up with quality gear. Well, I tell you what, I don't hold anything against people who live in the ghetto. I'm not a big fan of hood rats, but people who live in the ghetto or in poor areas, of course. I talked to someone today who literally came from Philadelphia, one of the suburbs, not the ghettos, of the suburbs, and says they could not believe the amount of violence that is breaking out, not just in Philly, but in the suburbs around it. How the police have lost control. How the city government doesn't give a shit. Who wants to live there, folks? These poor people cannot afford to move anywhere because they're poor. Not because they're bad, but because they're poor. Well, apparently they're taking their credit cards and they're maxing them out down at the local gun shops. I can't blame them. Right? And then these idiots around the country, I'm going to run with this one. Right? Ever since the federal court decision, state Democrats are now trying to pass all kinds of gun control bills in reaction to the local, pro-Second Amendment Supreme Court decision. What? Folks, understand this. They get one case on their side. The Democrats are going to run for the fence. They're going to run for the end zone. They get tackled by the court and told your laws are unconstitutional. They don't care. They're going to pass another 5 laws anyways. But the people in these inner cities, they're seeing what's going on in their inner cities due to Democrat policies. Bolshevik policies, pro-Palestinian belief systems, Democrats' democracy, which means destruction of freedom and liberty in America. They're turning the United States of America, at least the inner cities, into third world shitholes. Remember when Trump called these other countries shitholes? Look at what the Democrats are doing to Chicago, Philly, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, New York, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, San Antonio, fucking name your city, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Portland. They're all shitholes, folks. Denver is a shithole. Kansas City is a shithole. Minneapolis. Every one of these places could be a sphincter, right? Because it's just full of shit. This is where we're at. And so people are arming up. Watch the movie Free Jack. It's entertaining as fuck. It's got Emilio Estevez, who did not take his dad's Martin Sheen name. He used his real name, Estevez. He's Hispanic. Emilio Estevez. And it has Rene Rousseau. And it has Sir Anthony Hopkins. And it has Mick Jagger. And it's about a futuristic place where the rich are separated by enormous guarded gates. And the people are dying. Watch the movie Elysium and see what Hillary Clinton wants. All right. Back to this gun grab that the states keep trying to do, in spite of the fact that the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. Allow me, folks. Any law that is contrary to the Constitution is null and void. There's a Supreme Court of the United States decision, Marbury versus Madison. It came out very close to the beginning. It was early 1800s. Any law contrary to the Constitution is null and void, meaning it has no effect, no power. I don't need the Supreme Court or the federal court or a state court or any other court tell me what the Second Amendment means. I know what it means because I can read English. It was written in common English for the common man to understand the common law principle of the right of self-defense. Thank you, Mr. Uman. Any law contrary to the Constitution is null and void. There is no duty to obey any unconstitutional law. You know what the law is. You know the difference between right and wrong. And there's no duty to obey any rule on the state or local level or federal level, for that matter, that violates your Constitution. And that's why these people in the ghettos, in the poor areas, in the cities, in the suburbs, no matter how run down, going, you know what, fuck it, it's time to get some guns. It's time to ammo up. Who caused this, folks? Who caused this? Did Republicans like you and me cause this? No. Did libertarians cause this? No. It was caused by Democrats and rhino Republicans. That's who did this. Okay, man, I know that we got 5 minutes left. What do we got rolling, brother? We've got, who is up next? Charles Gentry says, I'm watching. It's all going to plan, just not the plan we wanted. Ah, wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to trust the plan. Oh, QAnon failed us again. Geez, I guess that was a fucking psyop, huh? I guess the R Syndicate called that shit out. Speaking of that, the rsyndicate.com is a internet website run by Uman that has all things Prepper, Patriot, America, etc. All the websites that'll link you or to websites or YouTube channels. That's a plan. You better get your plan together. Again, this isn't fear porn. I'm just reading the news. I'm just connecting the dots. I'm just seeing what the fuck is going on. I'm just checking, is it in America? Is it around the world? Is it in first world nations, third world nations? No, it's in all nations, everywhere around the whole planet, including the United States of America. And there it is. Pow! The rsyndicate.com. Doesn't cost you a penny to go there. Nope. Uman did it out of the goodness of his heart. One of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. Spends time with you guys here every day, doesn't make a fucking nickel off of it. Puts up with everyone's shit. Who wants to give him shit? Well, he gives them a little shit back. But he does it because he gives a fuck, folks. He cares about America and he cares about you, whether you like it or not. Uman's a good man. There are many Americans like him everywhere. We're not alone. We're not outnumbered. We're not rare. We're only kept silent by the media, by government, by politicians, and this desire to keep us, the silent majority, silent. Use your free speech, your mouth, your voice. Speak up and tell these fucking people, we're coming for you. Not in a violent way, because I can't do that. But it's going to happen, folks. The violence is coming, and they're starting it. And I hope you're prepared. All right, what do we got next? Mr. Uman. It is Mikey G, and he says, Thomas Jefferson. Holy shit, warned of the Muslims. That I was not. No, oh, here we are. They were the Barbary pirates back then. Yes, the Barbary Coast pirates. And guess who they sent over there to kick the ever-loving fuck out of them? The Marines. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. There's your Barbary pirates right there. There it is. Thank you, Mikey G, for that reminder. That's right. These radical fruitcakes in the world of theology are known as God's fools. They are radical. They are crazy. They are murderous. And trust me, folks, I don't want any theocracy. I do not want a Catholic theocracy. I do not want a Muslim theocracy. I don't want a Protestant theocracy. I don't want a Buddhist theocracy. I don't want a Sikh theocracy. I don't want any theocracy. I want people to leave me the fuck alone and respect my rights and my independence, my privacy. This ain't that kind of movie anymore, is it? Oh, no, there isn't. All right, let's continue. We're running out of time. But Uman, he's got this. He says, name redacted. He says, had to get blood work done today. Apparently, a lot of people are now needle shy and want to inspect and be sure of everything that happens now since Operation Cerveza Bug. Tell you what, yeah, I had to get some blood work done a short while ago. I looked and said, you're not putting anything in me. You're supposed to take a little bit of blood out. I want to smell that. That better smell like an alcohol swab that you're cleaning and rubbing on my skin. Yeah, very fucking suspicious. Very much suspicious of what was going on. I gave a political test to the person that I was having work on me. Very, very, very concerned. But thankfully, again, I live in an area full of people who think and act like me. Very few look like me, by the way. Very few look like me. How many fucking 53-year-old towheads are out there? I got confused again today, though, with another celebrity. Hey, y'all, you look like. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Thank you, name redacted. People are very worried about what's coming, folks. We could be hit with medical nightmare, a religious nightmare, a government nightmare. It's on. Oh, man, are we done for now? We got one more. We got one last thing from Mr. Uman himself. He said, we need an irreligious society. Believe what you want, but don't fall into the church trap. All any church wants is your money, power, and control. Now, a lot of people believe that America was founded as a Christian nation. It was not. It was not. It was founded as a deist nation, meaning they believed in a God. But that's part of the First Amendment is you will worship if you wish or not. You will worship if you wish, any way you see fit. You will believe in your God and your belief system any way you want. No one can give you a religious test for office or for public life. You cannot be attacked, right, or anything else. Now, I understand that freedom of religion. Does that include people who believe in murder as their religion? The answer is no. If your religious sacrament is murder and your religious conviction means you should murder people, you're not allowed in the country. If you're in the country, you ought to be arrested. I'm talking about both Satanists and radicalized religious groups. And that includes, folks, that includes, in my opinion, environmentalist wackos, that's their religion. Marxist communists, that's their religion. The state is God. Islamic jihadists, you're done. And Satanists, you're done. As well as LGBTQ crowds who believe in destroying children. That's their religion. Folks, the destruction and sacrifice of children's lives is a religious sacrament that is apparent all the way back in Old Testament. The worshipers of Moloch and Baal and others believed in child sacrifice. What do you think these Satanists are doing? What do you think these LGBT crowds want? And look what the Muslims did to pregnant women that they captured in Israel. That is what they believe in. That is what they want. They're sick people, and they're in our country now. That's why I tell you, you need to be prepared. Protect yourself, your family, your community. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. This is not fear porn. Stick your head out the window. Take a good look around at America and tell me what you see. Not with your own eyes, but beyond what you can see with your own eyes. What you're reading and seeing on the news and the newspapers. What you see through the internet. That is the real world. I can go take a nice walk outside right now, folks. Wave to old people walking their fucking dogs. Kids riding around on their big wheels. I live in fantasy land America. I pop my head out the old Prepared Mind bunker and take a walk around. It's beautiful here. Until the wackos start marching neighborhood to neighborhood again, just like they did back in 2020. Only next time they may be marching with guns, rifles. I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't care to trust them. There's no reason to trust them. None of us have any reason to trust politicians or anyone. Why would we? All right, folks, I'm going to call it a day. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Semper Fi means always faithful. Godspeed to you. Oh yeah, stop by Rudy, the Urban Aboriginal on YouTube. He is doing self-defense videos now. Talk, look, go to the Urban Aboriginal with Rudy and take a look at what he's talking about. Encourage him to do more self-defense videos. Thanks, Rudy.